Hey guys, this is Tommy from Speedlife. Gonna walk you through an unboxing video of the new Holley Sniper EFI kit. This is gonna be going on my 1970 Mustang Fastback Resto mod, which will give you an update on that car in a later video, but figured I'd show you guys this new Sniper kit I just got. So this is exactly how it came from UPS. We got 2 boxes in here. This is actually a refurbished kit. So Holley will sell these occasionally refurbished. I talked to one of the reps at Holley and he said most of the time a refurbished just means somebody ordered it and it was either missing a part and they sent it back, or it was a display kit, or they used it for, Holley themselves used it for testing, like fitment and stuff, and then they basically just make sure everything is back where it should be and they resell it. Pretty good discount. I ended up getting this kit. They usually retail around $1,200 to $1,300. Ended up getting this kit for about $900 shipped. So pretty good deal. All right, we'll go through the boxes. So the first one, smaller of the 2 here. This is box 526-8. This box, I believe, judging by the weight, is going to be the fuel system. So this is the full kit. Yeah, this looks like it's the full fuel system kit. The full kit means that not only does it come with the throttle body, basically, it looks like a carburetor, it is a throttle body, but it also gives you the full fuel system kit so you can plumb it into your existing fuel tank. So we have here a parts list of what's in this box. Some plumbing instructions, how to run it from the tank with the pre and post filters, the inline fuel pump, assembling the hoses, the right and wrong way to run curves and angles on your hoses. So that's a pretty good set of instructions there. And inside the box, got a little bit of packaging. You get 40 feet of fuel line, high pressure fuel line. This is also green shield line, which means it's multi-fuel compatible. You can run ethanol, E85, regular gas, obviously pump gas. That's pretty good. Then there are a bunch of fittings. So a couple of different barb fittings here. These are from Earl's. 3/8 inch hose fittings. This would be for all of the fuel lines. Some more fittings here. These are the bulkhead fittings and the nuts that go on them. You'll see different brands here. Holley owns a ton of different brands in the aftermarket. So NOS is a Holley brand, Earl's is a Holley brand. So you'll see a lot of different brands inside this kit, but it's all Holley. These would be these are the gaskets that go in between your tank. So when you run the bulkhead fitting in your fuel tank, this goes on the inside and outside of that bulkhead, so it seals. It's actually a little metal washer with like a rubber O-ring on the inside. Pretty cool way to do it. That's Earl's as well. You get a box of fuel injection hose clamps. These are not your typical worm clamps. These would be for their high pressure fuel lines. I believe this kit runs somewhere between 50 and 60 pounds pressure of fuel, so the better fittings there. This is your wicks. This is, I guess, one of the fuel filters. I believe that is the pre-filter. So you get the filter in there, a bunch of little hose clamps in there as well. It's cool to use off-the-shelf parts, so in the event you need to, change your filters and stuff, you can get these at the auto parts store. You don't need to go back to Holley to get these type of parts. I believe this is the other filter. Yeah. That's the other fuel filter. You run one before and one after your fuel pump. Make sure what's getting to the throttle body is super clean. This is pretty heavy. I'm assuming this one will be the fuel pump. There it is. So it's an inline fuel pump. This mounts up on your frame rail somewhere, wherever you have room underneath the car to mount it. It gives you, I don't know if you can see it on camera there, it gives you the fuel flow direction, so you know which way to orient the fuel pump. This is the mounting bracket for the fuel pump. So again, this would mount up on your frame rails, or wherever you have room. And the last thing in this box is a pickup tube. So this actually goes inside the fuel tank. This would go to the other end of the bulkhead fitting. So this would be your, basically a suction tube that you're sucking the fuel out of the fuel tank with. So that is the kind of the fuel system in the box. We'll stick these back in here, and we'll get to the big box, the heavier box. So that's your whole kit there. That's your fuel system kit. The second box will be, let's slide this out of the way. This will be your throttle body and likely your wiring and controls. So you can see right off at the top, we've got the Holley sticker, a couple of Holley gaskets for the throttle body, and the quick start manual instructions, how to make your wiring connections. Pretty straightforward there. So we'll take this out. Packaging. All right. This is the main harness. These are all labeled. I don't know if you can see it through the bag, but you have your crank signal, positive and negative, fuel pump output, battery positive, coil input. So this is basically all of your main connections that you'll have to make outside of the car. From what I've read online, I haven't gone through the instructions in detail yet, but it's a pretty simple hookup. You have your positive and negative. That's basically pretty straightforward. These two, the purple and green or yellow, this will be your coil signal. I think there's two different ways to wire this depending on what ignition system you have in your car. It has a relay built in, it's pre-fused, so pretty straightforward hookup on the electrical connectors. And we'll come back to this. So in this box we have, so here we go. Okay, so this is your oxygen sensor. This will need to be threaded into your exhaust system, obviously, and this will send signal back to the car so it can read air fuel and adjust accordingly. This is your control module. So this is basically like your little computer screen controller. This can be wired obviously inside of the car. You can hide it on the dash, you can mount it on the dash, but that's basically it. Touch screen. Pretty cool there, with a cover that goes over it, dust cover. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and you get plenty of cable with that, so you have plenty of room to run that wherever you need to. All right, more electrical connections, and a wire loom to hide it all. So I believe this is more of your connections for, again, different types of ignition signals. There's auxiliary connections in here in case you want to wire in like electric fans to turn on at a certain temp. It can, I believe you can run a two-step through this. So it has a couple of different hookups you can kind of spec out according to what you want to run on your car. This is the Holley Sniper EFI gauge module. So I think if you're running aftermarket gauges or the Holley in-dash gauges, I think you use this to hook that up. Temperature sensor, pretty straightforward. This is basically so it can read engine temp. And then this is the exhaust clamps, and there's a bung in there. It's kind of hard to see, but that is where, if you don't want to weld a bung into your exhaust, they have a way to clamp this on to your exhaust system. My car is going to end up getting a custom exhaust anyway, so I'll likely just have the bung welded in. But cool to know if you had an older car and you just wanted to hook this up, they do give you an option for that as well. And then finally, this is the throttle body. So this is kind of the main part of the kit, the brains of the operation. See there, Holley Sniper EFI. I don't know if you can see that in the light. But a couple connections here. Again, these all run back to those harnesses we were looking at earlier. So a couple harnesses here. This is your ignition wire. I believe some of these go back to the computer, the little handheld. And then basically, although it's electronic fuel injection, this will operate just like a carb. So you'll connect your throttle linkage over here, and as you're hitting the gas, your butterfly valves open. This is the, I guess, 4-barrel kit. This can support up to, I believe, 600 horsepower, which will be more than I'm making. There's a couple different options for fuel hookups on this. So your main options is your fuel inlet is here, your fuel outlet is here. This has a built-in regulator, so it'll adjust electronically. If these didn't work for you, I believe these go out the rear. If you needed to have a front feed, you can take these two bungs out and basically swap everything over so it can be front feed. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot of wiring. Like I said, it's a pretty well-designed kit. There's the bottom of it. So yeah, we'll give you another update video on the car this is going on. That's a video I've been working on, so we'll have that hopefully in a few weeks here.